For the 7th mission of the run, you'll always have to fight the giant Mechanilloid. Seal will prompt you to see if you want to save, so be ready to press B when that's coming up, instead of regular mashing. The shield is going to be very critical for this mission, both for RNG manipulation and for fighting the boss. So first, we're going to do that trick of kicking up smoke clouds by wall climbing with the shield, and we're going to do it for all 3 of the jumps up this wall. One thing to note about RNG manipulation here is that it seems to be affected by time, and I'm not certain why. It's not changing very fast though, as you can see, so as long as you get through in around the same pace every time, it's not a problem. Now, we want to be charging our shield, so in order to move efficiently across this distance, you'll have to be doing dash shield jumps, which are done by pressing dash and jump on the same frame while holding the shield, or pressing dash within 3 frames after you jump. So lean towards pressing the jump first and then the dash, but pressing them simultaneously is more optimal. So if you have really clumsy movement across like that, it might affect your RNG. I mentioned the principle of damage stacking in the introduction video, but since this is the first time it's actually being utilized, I'll give a quick reminder. The basic idea is if you have hitboxes from 2 different attacks intersecting an enemy simultaneously, both will do damage to the enemy on alternating frames. So you're getting one hit one frame, the other the next, and so on. Naturally, this allows for absurd amounts of damage per second. It's only practical on things that don't have invincibility frames, so something with a ton of health but no iframes, like this giant mech, is the perfect target for it. I will warn that getting this just right is actually quite tough, so I'm going to go through it really slowly this first time and try and explain all the little details going on here. So, as the fight starts, you want to do a dash jump to the left, and then you throw the shield as you're coming down. If you're too high up when you throw it, it won't really go where you want, and if you're too low, then you get all kinds of problems. Like, it might fly up instead of down, or you might just not even get the throw off at all if you get hit before throwing it. The visual cue I like to look for is having it along that horizontal line in the background. So I pretty much got it spot on this demonstration. So it's going around over there. I land here, and then I need to move forward and jump over the shield as it goes by. Then I attack, and I turn into that section in the back as the shield's getting to it. And then I just do massive damage with that extended jump slash as I fall down. Then, as the shield's going through those sections on the top, jump up and do a spin slash. You actually don't want to kill the thing on the very top with this attack, because if you do, it will cause the piece on the back that drops bombs to do its attack, which makes it harder to end the fight early. So getting used to like when to attack it to do a lot of damage without killing it, it's pretty tough. You'll get damage boosted again. Then you've got a bit of a delay before the shield's going to come back for its last pass, so we use that time to hopefully finish off the section on the top, because it doesn't matter if it dies now. That's fine. since this thing's gonna follow it right after. Shield's coming back, so we get on the right side of the mech, then we go at it with another extended jump slash as the shield goes through, and it gets destroyed. Let's watch it in full speed a few times. Be careful not to dash forward along the ground when you're going for that first jump, because if you dash into those spikes in the front of the mech, they will kill you in one hit if you don't still have the iframes. Alright, now I'm just going to try it a few times myself and hopefully point out the various ways it can go wrong. So that, I threw the shield too low and it bounced off the top piece. There it is again. I didn't get very much damage on anything there. Since these things are still alive, you go into the middle and spin back and forth with a jump slash. Yeah, that was really bad damage again. I didn't time my attacks very well. That's better. If that piece on the top's still alive, just finish it off with some jump slashes. Normally when I'm going for the kill on this back piece, I do the extended jump slash and then I move forward and start spinning in case that circular piece is alive still. Though a lot of times it won't be. If this part's still alive, just do spin slashes. Like this. In my experience, that's the most efficient way of dealing damage to it. If it's the only part left. That was a really high throw. Let me show off what happened to that. Yeah, I don't get much damage on this thing on the back at all if I throw that high. It's also harder to jump over it. So it's a tough balance. Oh, that's what I was warning about with the dash. Is if you do a dash attack there, it might put you near the spikes. Normally you'll have time to react and get out of there, thanks to the iframes, but it is a bit scary. Since I destroyed that thing too early, this starts dropping bombs, and when it does that, its hitbox is a lot smaller, so most of the time you won't get damage on the second pass of the shield. So again, if it's still alive, just a lot of spin slashes. Now if you whiff the shield throw entirely, you're going to lose a lot of time. Basically, the best strat is to stand in the middle and spin back and forth with jump slashes. If you're pretty good at it, you can still destroy the mech entirely before it gets to those spikes. You can even go like a second or two faster than that if you are really talented at it. In my experience, that's pretty rare though. Now, when this dies, it's going to drop the Cyber Elf based on where the mech was. And you need to get that Cyber Elf to end the stage. So, in very rare circumstances, it can be right over those spikes, and that's not good, because if you get the elf and die, that's still a death. It doesn't count the mission as being complete. Another thing, if you kill this thing while you're over the spikes, you'll lose control and die. So be careful about that. Seven is the best you'll see here with these strats. 8 is more common, even if you get everything right. But 7s aren't too rare. You should definitely go for it.